Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to be covering General Graardor, the Bandos boss in the Godwars Dungeon, and we're going to be going over everything you need to start grinding out your Bandos armor and your BGS. So let's get into it. As far as requirements to do the boss, you're going to need 80 plus in attack, strength, and defense, 75 magic to be able to tank the magic attacks, and 70 prayer, so you can use piety. But at the bare minimum, you're going to need 60 so you can use chivalry. And if you're going to use thralls, you're going to need to have a Kingdom Divided completed for the Greater Skeletal Thrall. If you are bringing Ancients to be able to barrage, you are going to want to have at least 92 magic for your Blood Barrage. For gear, for a melee setup, you're going to want to be bringing something similar to this, with either a Natus Nut helmet or face guard, your Fire Cape, a Fury or a Blood Fury. You could also run a Glory as well. You're also going to want a Bandos item. I chose to go with the Blessing, a Whip or Tentacle Whip, Carol's Leather Top, a Crystal Shield, Torag Legs, Barrow's Gloves, Berserker's Ring, and I chose to go with some Ancient God D-Head boots, that way I can bank it next. And for your inventory, you're going to want to be bringing a Super Combat Potion, some brews, some restores, some combo food. I went with Anglers since they heal a lot and you can overheal. I'm also bringing a Unholy Symbol for the KC so I don't get attacked by the Zamorak minions. And then some runes for a Thrall, your Book of the Dead, Bones to Peaches tablets, and a one-click teleport out. If you wanted to upgrade this gear at all, I mean, you could go with some Bandos gear, you could upgrade to a Dragonfire Shield, you could upgrade to a Fang, some Ferocious Gloves, Primordial Boots, and a Ring of Suffering. You're basically just looking to maximize your ranged and magic defense since you're going to be praying melee throughout the fight. That way you do not get destroyed by Bandos' range attack and the minions don't just tear you apart. As far as Bandos' loot goes, he's going to drop his chestplate, tassets, and boots all at a rate of 1 out of 381, the hilt at a rate of 1 out of 508, and his pet at a rate of 1 out of 5,000. Now let's talk about how to get there. If you have Egger's Ruse completed, you can use the Trollheim teleport in the standard spellbook, or a Trollheim teleport tablet, which is created from a house teleport and a redirection scroll from the Nightmare Zone. Or you could use Gommel's Hilt, which is closer, and has 3 daily teleports with the easy tier of the combat achievements done. Medium will give you 5, and hard will give you unlimited. If you're not using the Gommel's Hilt, this is where you're going to end up. What you're going to want to do is climb down these eastern agility shortcuts, as it's going to be a lot faster than taking the shortcuts on the other side of the mountain and having to run all the way around. Now that we're at the bottom, we're going to protect from range and run past the thrower trolls. And now you're at the entrance. You're going to need either 60 strength, push the boulder, or 60 agility to be able to take the shortcut. The boulder is going to be about a 12-second entry, as where the agility shortcut is going to be about a 5-second entry, so I would suggest using that. Once you're inside, you're going to be greeted with the Winter Storm effect, which continually drains your stats and run energy, similar to the Ice Diamond portion of the Desert Treasure 1 quest. You are able to remove this effect by completing Making Friends with My Arm, and mining the basalt to make the Fire of Unseasonable Warmth. Aside from that, inside there are 3 wolves, all level 132, guarding the entrance. You're going to want to pray melee and run past these guys over here towards the hole. If it's your first time in, you're going to need to tie a rope to the hole right here. Once you tie the rope on there, it will stay forever. You may also need to talk to a knight before entering the Godwars Dungeon, unless they've removed that out of the game. Now that we know about all of this, we can talk about the KC to get into the boss room. In the Godwars Dungeon, you are going to need 15 to 40 KC of whichever minion of the boss you're going to kill per entry into their room. The combat achievements lower the total amount that you're going to need, starting at the hard tier going from 40 to 35, elite 35 to 30, master 30 to 25, and Grandmaster 25 to 15. For your kill count, you're only going to need to tag them for credit. I would go for the Spiritual Rangers or Mages if you have the Slayer level for those, as you can get some Dragon Boots from the Mages and make some money while you're getting your KC. They won't aggro onto you when attacked as long as they're already in combat with something, so go ahead and let the minions tank for you. You don't need to waste your prayer like that. The boss and boss minions also grant KC towards your next kill, totaling at 4 KC per trip if all of the minions die as well. If you can, bank it next. It makes your life really easy. You'll need a key shard from all of the Godwars bosses, which you'll get on your first key for each boss. You'll use those to build the key to unlock the room to get to next. Once you're in there, you'll want to build up enough KC for a few bank trips, and then you'll want to go and get your KC for the boss, or just enter with an ecumenical key. Once you're in the boss room and you get back to 40 KC, you can use the altar to teleport out of the room and be put right back outside the boss room's door. You can then run to Nex, resupply, and head back over to your boss. Getting KC in the Ancient Room is a lot faster than all of the other bosses, as you'll be granted 2 to 5 KC per kill, depending on what you kill instead of 1 like the original 4 bosses. Killing a melee or ranged minion will give you 2 KC. A Blood Reaver will give you 3, and mages give you 5. If you die or teleport out, your KC is going to be wiped, and you'll have to collect it again from scratch. So using the next bank is a nice method for saving all the KC you've collected in the boss room. Since you aren't going to be leaving the dungeon, it's not going to get wiped. If you do die though, it will place your grave safely outside the boss room, so you can collect all of your gear. But remember to bring god items with you when you come back for your stuff, that way you don't wipe your grave. You can instance the room, but if the torch outside the room is lit, then you will have to world hop, as only one person or group iron team is allowed to instance a boss per world. The hard combat achievements grant access to instancing starting at 150k, Elite will drop it down to 125k, Master to 100k, and Grandmaster to 75k. You are able to skip the KC to enter the boss room, if you have an ecumenical key, which are dropped at a rate of 1 out of 60 in the Bandos Godwars Dungeon. Each combat achievement tier completed starting with hard lowers the drop rate by 5, with hard being 1 out of 55, Elite 1 out of 50, Master 1 out of 45, and Grandmaster 1 out of 40. You'll also be able to make these keys with shards received from Nex's loot table. 50 shards is going to equal 1 key when combined. If you do go the wilderness route, bring armor from all the gods, for example, a Zami D'hide coif, a holy necklace, war blessing, and armadillo rune legs. You'll be able to bring barrows, gloves, and a dragon scimitar, or any other weapon you'll protect on death. Remember to bring an anti-dragon fire shield, some combo food, anti-poison, and a one-click teleport like the seed pod in case a PKer shows up. This is a fairly cheap setup, where you'll protect your weapon, coif, barrows, gloves, and your legs as a +1 from protect item, if you have a similar inventory to the one shown on screen. If you're an Iron Man, the hardest pieces to get are going to be the God D'hide and the Armadillo leg, since they are clue squirrel items, so you could switch them out for a Zami Monk robe top and a Book of Law if you don't have the others. Be sure to kill imps and weaker monsters for faster keys, but make sure you have skull prevention turned on. It is the wilderness. General Graardor is going to have 3 minions in the room with him, just like all of the other Godwars Dungeon bosses, aside from Nex. Sergeant Strongstack is going to be attacking with melee and have a max hit of 15. Sergeant Steelwill is going to be attacking with magic and have a max hit of 15. And Sergeant Grimspike is going to be attacking with range and have a max hit of 21. And it is possible for the minions to drop a piece of Bandos armor at a rate of 1 out of 16,256, as well as Godsword shards at a rate of 1 out of 1,524. Now, I wouldn't count on them dropping any loot for you, but it is a possibility if you're really lucky. As for General Graardor himself, he is going to be attacking on a 6-tick attack cycle, and he is going to be attacking with melee with a max hit of 60 and ranged with a max hit of 35. And he will use his ranged attack about 1/3 of the time. So about 1 out of every 3 attacks or so, he's going to slam the ground and attack everybody in the room with a ranged attack. When fighting Bandos, it may be beneficial to go into your menu entry swapper, go to NPC swaps, and go to shift-click walk here. That way you'll be able to use the walk under method for Bandos, so you will be attacking him twice and then stepping under him. This way you will only be taking 1 attack from Bandos for every 2 attacks you're dealing to him. This way you'll be able to mitigate a lot of the damage coming your way. And you'll also want to make sure while you're under Bandos, that is the perfect time to be able to eat and drink a dose of your super restore. That way you're not standing out just taking a bunch of damage from Bandos while you're waiting on the cooldown from eating to go away so you're able to attack again. And getting your KC for Bandos is a little different. You're going to want to do this outside of the room initially and just take out all of these low-level goblins that are over by the entrance to the Zamorak area. And once you're done getting all of your KC, you're going to need to get a hammer to go through the door along with 70 strength. So what you're going to do to keep your whole inventory is you are going to drop a piece of food on this side of the door, take your hammer, and it despawned. Bruh. Get a new hammer. Right, so once you have your hammer again, you're going to drop a piece of food on this side of the door, take your hammer, open the big door, drop a piece of food on this side of the door, open the door, pick up your food from this side, open the door again, drop the hammer, take your food, and you're good to go. Alright, and for the 6-0 method, you can go to the tilepacks plugin in the plugin hub, download that, and then once you open it, you can come down here to General Graardor, and you are able to pick between either a 5-tick weapon or a 4-tick weapon 6-0 layout. And the nice thing about 6-0 is you don't have to red X anything, so it's a little less sweaty. When you go in, you're going to want to make sure that you start running over towards the altar in this corner, and you are going to want to get a hit off on Bandos when he is about right here. Then you're going to want to make sure you click onto the next tile over here, and you're going to attack as soon as you get to every single tile, and as soon as your attack goes off, you're going to run to the next one. And you'll basically just keep doing that until Bandos dies. You're going to want to make sure when the next kill starts, you start on the start tile over here and run to the shoot tile. You always want to shoot from the shoot tile every single time you pass it, so you keep him in the correct cycle. And when it's the first lap of the kill, you are going to want to make sure after you run here and shoot that you run to this tile, but you skip attacking on it, because you will take a hit if you attack from here once you start the kill. You are going to just run to this tile and immediately run over here, start shooting, and then continue the cycle all the way around. Once Graardor dies, you are able to start barraging if you brought runes to barrage. Usually the minions will be stacked up similar to this, so all you have to do is drag the melee minion into the stack and start barraging. Alright, now before you go in, you are going to want to take a sip of your super combat, get your protection prayer up, get your offensive prayer up. I'm going to open a private door, and we are going to start the kill. So you're going to run up to Bandos, get your 2 hits in on Bandos, walk under, get your 2 hits on Bandos, walk under, and that is basically the whole fight. You are going to take a bunch of damage during the fight, so just make sure you keep yourself caught up on eating. And when you are eating, make sure you are under the boss. That way you do not lose ticks, not being able to attack, and just take a bunch of extra damage for no reason. Now, something you can do if you want to minimize the damage you're taking from the minions is bring a Din's Bulwark in with you. That way when you step under Bandos, you equip the Bulwark, take less damage from the minions, and then switch back to your weapon, step out, and attack. Don't forget to summon your Thrall as soon as you walk in, unlike I did. Now the Bandos is down, we're going to go ahead and take care of the Mage Minion first. If you brought Ancients, this is where you would just take out the Mage Minion first, and then drag the Melee Minion on top of the Range Minion, and you'll be good to go to start barraging. That is all there is to it for killing General Graardor. It is a lot of damage coming in, so it can get a little bit scary, but you just gotta make sure you stay calm. Probably would have helped if I put my Blood Fury back on for the kill, but But then again, that just goes to show you don't need the best gear in the world to be able to do this. You just need to make sure that you have enough defense that you're not just going to get shredded. And that's where I'm going to call it. If you guys enjoyed the video or learned something, feel free to hit that sub button. It's free. It'll make this guy really happy, and it'll also help grow the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.